What do gossip, online trolls, manipulators, and family drama all have in common with each other? The Bible says they're all versions of the same person, the troublemaker. Proverbs 6, verses 12 through 15 say this: A worthless person, a wicked man goes around speaking dishonesty, winking his eyes, signaling with his feet, and gesturing with his fingers. He always plots evil with perversity in his heart. He stirs up trouble. So the theme is the mark of the troublemaker is constant stirring up of conflict. Troublemakers, stirring up trouble. And what we want to do is we want to recognize who the troublemakers are, avoid their deceptions, and be peacemakers ourselves. So I'm going to identify 5 common type of troublemakers you'll come across. The first one is the gossip, the rumor spreader. Proverbs 6, 12, and 13 says that their speech is crooked. They signal behind the scenes. Example would be the office gossip who spreads fear and anxiety with half-truths. Or they gossiping is saying something derogatory behind somebody's back. And you gotta stamp it out in the workplace or any kind of an organization, because it'll spread like a virus and absolutely destroy an organization if somebody doesn't do something about it. So if you're in a position to stop gossip, it can't be taken lightly. You gotta stop it. And you don't feed gossip, whether you're in a position to do anything about it or not. You stop it or walk away. Don't listen to it yourself, because if you listen to it yourself, you're just as bad as the one who's spreading the gossip. So the typical way to handle that is to say, have you talked to this other person about this? And they'll almost always say no. And if they say no, say go talk to them about it. Don't before you talk to me. I don't want to hear it. Or you could sometimes say, let's go talk to this other person ourselves. You and I. We'll talk about it together. If it's a drug gossiper or a rumor spreader, they won't want to do that. So that's one type of troublemaker, the gossip. Another one is the online provoker, the online troll. Proverbs 6:14 says, they plot evil, they stir up trouble. Example would be social media fights, people looking for conflict, not truth. I been on the internet for 30 years, almost since the beginning when it was publicly available. What happened was when I started my career as a public speaker and a seminar leader, I started contracting with the national seminar companies. And they would, as a independent contractor, not an employee. And so I'd contract with them, and they would offer me business all over the country, actually all over the English-speaking world, where I would go. They would get the people together, that people from organizations would sign up for these seminars on various subjects, and I would go present the seminar. Did that for 20 years. And when I first started doing it, one of the seminar companies said, hey, go watch one of our own seminars so you'll see what this is like. And the first one I went to was in 1995, and the subject was simply the internet. The internet was new. Everybody in the workplace was trying to get up to speed on it, get online. And I went to the seminar. A lot of people there in Houston, and I was hooked. I was so intrigued by it. I went home and I upgraded my computer. I upgraded my online service, and I've been on the internet ever since. And ever since I've been on the internet, there's been these online provokers, these trolls. And then in 2012, with the coming of social media, it just got a lot worse. So you can't engage trolls. You got to choose wisdom, not arguments. Then there's the manipulator. That's the third kind of troublemaker, the manipulator. Proverbs 6:13 says, they hide their gestures, hidden gestures, and their subtle schemes. For example, would be a so-called friend or an acquaintance who plants seeds of distrust. They'll say things like, you wouldn't believe what she said about you. They're passive aggressive. They'll be very nice to you, even flatter you to your face, but behind the scenes they're manipulating. They'll say, oh, I'm only telling you that for your own best interest about this person. I don't mean to cause trouble, but here's what she said about you. The manipulator. So guard your heart. Make sure you can identify this kind of person. And don't let anybody else control your relationships with others. So you have the online troll, you have the manipulator, and of course you have the gossip. Gossip is the first one. Online troll is the second one. The manipulator is the third one. The fourth one is the workplace saboteur. Proverbs 6:14 says they have perversity in their heart. Sabotage, workplace sabotage. Example would be a co-worker who withholds information so you can fail, and then swoops in and tries to be the hero. And they're deliberately tearing themselves down to tearing others down to build themselves up. Bruce Walker, one of the best Proverbs commentators, says the mark of a fool is that they're willing to disadvantage the community to advantage themselves. The mark of the wise is they're willing to disadvantage themselves to advantage the community. Do your work with integrity. Don't worry about others trying to do sabotage. God sees what's going on behind the scenes. And you may not see it yourself, but let God deal with it, not you. Unless you're a manager or in a position to do something about it, then you got to deal with it. And the fifth kind of troublemaker is the divider in families and churches. Proverbs 6:14 continually stirs up conflict. It's the relative who drags up old fights every time you have a family gathering, every holiday, every time you have a family gathering. It's the church member who criticizes leaders in whispers. Oftentimes they're passive aggressive. I'm just trying to help the church, but here's what I think about these leadership decisions. What do you think? Don't be a divider, especially in families and churches. You must be a unifier. We've got to, in your fraternal family and in your church family, we've got to have unity, and you've got to pursue peace. Proverbs 6:15 gives us our conclusion. Calamity will come suddenly. So God deals with troublemakers. The takeaway, recognize them, know the various types of troublemakers. So recognize them when you see them. Refuse to join them. And respond with wisdom. Jesus says, blessed are the peacemakers. Matthew 5:19. So the big question is, am I making peace? Am I a peacemaker myself? Or am I one of the ones stirring up trouble? Maybe not, I don't even realize I'm doing it, but do I ever spread gossip? Do I ever try to disadvantage someone else to advantage myself? Do I ever engage in online discord of any kind? Guard your heart. Tomorrow, next video, we're going to talk about the sluggard. Always, the kind of person who's always making excuses. So we'll continue in Proverbs 6 and go to Proverbs 6 and 11, 6 through 11. Until then, go now in grace and peace.